Welcome to the Hopcast.
Oh, thanks for coming back this evening, everybody.
You know me. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
You don't know me. I'm Ken Hunnemeder.
I think we've seen you before.
Odd. But anyways, what you do know is that we always feature fine beers on this show, and tonight is no exception.
Right.
We have two beers that I'm sure are going to certainly please us. We have one is the Melange à Trois. I was talking about pleasing beers. This is from Nebraska Brewing, and it was also sent to us
from Dale.
From Dale. Shout out! How many shout-outs do you have, Dale, at this point? Man, Dale is racking up those shout-outs.
Too kind to us.
Because he keeps sending beer, because he's so awesome. And we also have
the Boulevard Doppelbock.
Yeah, the Seeyoulator.
Seeyoulator.
Now, interesting thing about this beer is that it's a Doppelbock aged on cedar, a la Cigar City.
Right, and we love cedar. You might have saw the episode with the beer wench. Shut up! And we were cedering it up.
We were, and this is an interesting style to see introduced to the cedar wood. Not something I would expect, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we get out of that. I haven't tried either one of these beers, so
the Nebraska comes in at 10%, and this comes in at 8.5.
Yeah, but
so you were saying we should start with that. We usually do alcohol up.
Alcohol up because we normally go based on we do our shows based on style, but today we're doing wood aged beers.
Woody beers.
This one is aged in Chardonnay barrels, and obviously this one is on cedar. So I think Doppelbocks are more of like an afterthought, or not an afterthought, but like you would do something like a light Belgian ale first, and then do the Doppelbock afterwards. What do you say?
All right, it might be more entertaining.
I'm going to slap your face.
The 10% and then the 8%. It could get silly.
Yeah, it might get silly. Not that we haven't done 3 of these tonight already, so. All right, let's check it out.
I think it's picking up some color from the wood, like the oranginess.
I think, yeah, maybe originally it was like a really light colored beer, but perhaps picked up some of those things from the wood. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, kind of like a golden hazy type of thing. We've seen quite a few of those in recent vintages of the Hopcast.
Seen it before.
Yeah, that's right.
Seen that color.
But quite a nice staying power on the head there, too.
Yeah, so I'm sure pretty hopped up, or at least at some point there's a lot of hops in there.
And I smell that on the aroma, too. It smells like it's been dry hop the hell out of.
Right, if you can get past the wood, though.
Yeah.
Like, it burns and then the hop.
I mean, you can certainly, this, again, is aged in Chardonnay barrels, and you can certainly get that right in the aroma.
Yeah, it smells great.
I think wood forward would be the way to describe it, but let's go ahead.
That's how I live my life, wood forward.
Wow. Okay.
Take another sip of that.
Yeah, this might need further analysis. This is like this is a pretty complex brew.
Let me crunch the numbers on this. I like it.
Carry the 4, and I like it.
Yeah.
Do you ever carry a 4? Can you do that? Not carry.
I think you always carry.
You carry the 1.
You always carry the 1.
Carry. Well, math geniuses here on Hopcast. That's why we do video work. Okay. But anyways, going back to beer, which is another thing that we like to enjoy that doesn't involve numbers. This particular brew is quite complex and exquisite. It's got a lot of spice character to it.
Yeah. So the wood's pretty heavy in the aroma, but not. I'm not getting a lot of wood in the taste. It's kind of mellowed out there.
I don't know.
But it does have that spicy bite. Yeah.
You know what? I'm getting the spicy bite,
is
but
that the wood, you think?
I'm also thinking that's the wood.
That's the wood. Okay.
I mean, this is a wood that I've never really experienced before, being Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Maybe I've had 1 or 2, but I think
You've had 1 or 2 Chardonnay woods?
I've had, yes. You show me a nice Chardonnay and
is that the morning after?
And a tulip glasses, hour, you know, yeah.
This is my Chardonnay
Anyways.
wood,
But I think all that complexity is coming from the wood. It certainly tastes like I can taste those tannins in a good way, like not offensive. And the Chardonnay barrel is not affecting it the way that I thought it would. I thought it would be a very effervescent white, almost vinegary like Chardonnay. And I'm not a Chardonnay fan, but kept an open mind. I do love this beer. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, so is this a blend? Okay.
I didn't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Could be. I mean, it's oak Chardonnay barrels, but I thought the whole batch was
in there.
Was aged in that barrel.
Okay. And
but
so Nebraska Brewing's they're not that much on the radar, right? This is like their first big release, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is kind of the beer that kind of put them on the map, I would say. I mean, hadn't heard too much of the Nebraska, if at all, and then all of a sudden...
I haven't even heard of the state.
All of a sudden the Twitter feed is blowing up with Melange Trois, and I'm like, hey, you beer people are freaky.
I'm interested in that.
Like, no, it's a beer and it's really good. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I'll take your word for it, sickos. But it turns out that they were correct, so I apologize. Tweeps.
Any ill words Ken said?
Yeah, when I said, like, screw your family, I didn't mean it.
Screw your family and eat a bag of dicks. I'm out. He's sorry about that.
Well, I'm not sorry for what you said, but
No,
I'm sorry.
I was quoting you, I thought.
Oh, no.
We should stick to beer, right?
Yes, Chardonnay is not on the docket tonight, but this beer is, and I find it to be extremely complex. I mean, it's got like a lot of those raisin things, and then back to the grape, and I think those two are obviously related. But you get I think the most wood-forward beer maybe I've ever had without being totally dominant by wood.
Yeah. Well, I think a cedar beer, you can pick out the cedar more. Like some of the Chardonnay, oaky, the French oak is kind of, it adds a flavor and you can't always pick it out. And cedar.
Yes, cedar usually that's your main note, you know, and just because it's such an astringent and powerful wood in its flavor, it kind of dominates everything. But I think, you know, with French oak and especially Chardonnay, it's more of like a subtle type of thing. And but you do, I think that maybe they were young barrels.
Well,
because you're getting a lot of it out of there.
To the 10%, like the beer doesn't.
Should we add to the 10%?
No, but the beer doesn't taste like it was a 10% beer. I'm sure it picked up at least 2% from the barrels.
It drinks very much lower than a 10% beer, but it shows very much higher than a 10% beer because I'm drunk.
Well, let's ease into the next one then. All right, Ken, I think I'm ready for another wood. I need some more.
Well, let me give you a little sip of this beer.
Oh! It's kind of been hot.
Yeah, we've got this Doppelbock from Boulevard, which was so graciously donated by Mr. Stephen Freshnock, Slovak brewer.
Shut up! Look him up on Twitter.
And this Doppelbock is aged on cedar. As I said before, quite an interesting style to decide to do that wood with. That sounded weird.
So you think the cedar kind of is a result of Cigar City?
I would have to say so. I mean, Cigar City was kind of like the forefront.
The pioneers in the cedar
the pioneers, beer. Front runners with the cedar. And I have to say that I think that Boulevard saw how delicious those beers are.
And they're doing delicious beers.
And they are, you know, I'm not trying to
make them more delicious.
Yes. If someone's doing something good, I mean, at one point someone said, hey, let's make
Better.
bourbon beer.
Yeah.
And then everyone makes bourbon beer. So I think that everyone should start making cedar beer because from what I've had from Cigar City, it's delicious.
Well,
But
let's pour this out and give it a taste. That poured out pretty dark, especially for a Doppelbock.
Well, I would say that's typical for a Doppelbock.
So it's
Yep.
a little darker, but okay.
Doppelbock's usually a little bit darker. I've seen some that are even darker than this, but almost like a little darker than a ruby red.
Yeah.
And
like a cedar almost.
a little darker than cedars. Yeah, it's kind of true. So if you've had Cigar City before, and this is what you're expecting out of a cedar aged beer, then I would stop right there because this is more of like a subtle approach to cedar aging beers. This is when you have one of those Humidor series beers from Cigar City, it's kind of like a punch in the face cedar,
Yeah.
right as you smell it.
This the caramel though.
This is more like beer dominated,
yeah.
like Doppelbock dominated, and there is like a hint of cedar in there.
The wood second, where Cigar City the wood's first.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
So aroma being already done,
All right.
tasting is next.
Cheers to that.
All right, straight away, I would have to say that the aroma is very much akin to the flavor, whereas you're getting typical Doppelbock, traditional Doppelbock, and then you have the cedar in the background, you know.
Yeah. I guess the Doppelbock style isn't something I'm always a big fan of.
I like myself some Doppelbocks, but it's got to be the right time, right place, because they do tend to be a little bit sweet.
Yeah, they're sweet, and then there's something missing. Like the flavor's off, or something's weird there.
So I feel like they're full-bodied, they're full-flavored, but they're just sweet, you know. And so I pick my time and place where I want to have a Doppelbock, whether it be after dinner or just like if I'm having one beer.
Could be a Doppelbock.
Doppelbock, and then I'm done. But not my favorite style, but I certainly enjoy them for what they are. But you certainly get, and some of those beers out there with the Doppelbocks are a little bit different. Some are more drinkable than others. This one I say is more on the sweet side.
Oh yeah, especially in the aroma. I think it's sweeter in the aroma than the taste.
Mm-hmm. But you don't really get the cedar coming out like crazy style, like the Cigar City, you know. So don't expect that. It's more of like a subtlety, which is nice. It's just a different approach.
Man, the cicadas are going crazy on us. That's ridiculous.
Got some cicadas in the backyard. That's all.
But it's a great beer. I don't think it's one of Cigar City or Boulevard's top beers.
Boulevard makes some fantastic beers.
Imperial Stout is amazing. The Belgium, the Wit, it's really good.
They do a lot of Brett beers that are really great. And I would put this I'd put this in there, but like, you know, not towards the top of my list.
No.
Certainly a great beer, but with Boulevard standards, maybe a little bit at the end of the line.
Come on, guys. You can do better. We know.
Oh, don't do it like that.
But it's worth checking out if you can pick it up. We can't get it here, so.
Right. And speaking of which, thanks again for Stephen, Slovak brewer.
Shut up!
For throwing me this bottle of this great beer.
Yeah. And thank you for watching the Hopcast.
Cheers, guys.